Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tori, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my top 5 Christian fiction recommendations. Okay, first recommendation is Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. If you are looking for an author who really does a great job of incorporating her faith into a historical fiction without making it laborious or preachy, it's amazing how much she talks about faith in this book without it getting obnoxious. This follows a young Jewish girl who is taken back to Rome after the fall of Jerusalem, post-Christ era, and she is sold into the home of a very prominent Roman family and is confronted with a lot of things that obviously go against her faith, and she's kind of struggling to find her place. And it does a great job of showing her struggle to keep her faith in a hostile environment, and also the characters in this book are absolutely incredible. Hadassah, who is the main character, is a very believable, flawed. I have a really hard time falling in love with main character heroines, and this is one of the books where I completely loved Hadassah, the main character. So highly, highly recommend this book for that. Her relationship to all the other characters in the story is very interesting. The other characters are also very human. It's a very gritty story. Francine Rivers does not pull any punches when she is talking about real life, which I love. There are 2 books in this trilogy that I recommend. The third one, the first one is called Voice in the Wind. The second one is called An Echo in the Darkness. And the third one is called As Sure as the Dawn. The third one I really didn't like that much. It got pretty preachy, but luckily the first 2 have their own closure, so if you read the first 2, you're not missing anything from the third book. The second book that I want to recommend is Grayson, Thine Eyes by Liz Curtis Higgs. I am not typically a huge fan of a lot of Christian fiction authors simply because I feel like they try too hard and it ends up getting really cheesy and preachy, and it feels very not relatable. The main character, Davina, is mute, and I love her character. This is another main character that I've really enjoyed reading. She goes through a lot of really heavy things. It's set in Scotland in the, let's see, what year was it? Spring 1808. Beautiful, beautiful description of the landscape and environment. The family in this book is really dynamic, really interesting. Davina is an amazing main character, and I think she's even more powerful because, you know, she's that relatable and that gripping, even though she's not actually verbally speaking at all throughout the book. My third recommendation is A Proper Pursuit by Lynn Austin. Lynn Austin is another one of my favorite Christian writers. I think she does a really good job of giving you the romance, but putting it in a story that's actually captivating and interesting and moves along. This one is set in late 1800s Chicago, and Violet, the main character, kind of gets caught up with a love interest who's kind of a, like, on the wrong side of the tracks kind of character. She's kind of being set up in romance by her grandmother and her 3 aunts, and it's just the characters in this book. Again, this is a very character-driven novel. I find the characters very fresh and interesting. The main character is relatable, and she's definitely not a pants character. And there's also a mystery element to this book, which I really appreciate. My fourth recommendation is another book by Francine Rivers, Redeeming Love. Again, going back to the fact that Francine Rivers is a very gritty, no-holds-barred writer, this is a Christian fiction that is set in the gold rush in California, and it's kind of a frontier story. And the main character, Angel, is a prostitute, and she is taken in by a gentleman who marries her and tries to give her a better life. And their struggle to find love and for her to reconcile with her past. Again, very strong, gritty, emotional-based writing. Highly recommend it. Okay, my fifth and final recommendation for Christian fiction novels that I absolutely love is in a completely different vein for those of you that are not really looking for the romance aspect of things. Saint by Ted Ducker is one of my favorite books. It's a mystery thriller with a touch of fantasy element to it. It's about a assassin, and I don't want to say too much about it because literally this is just such a fantastic book. This is a very fast read. Ted Ducker does a great job of moving the plot along really quickly, and really interesting characters, lots of great themes. Those are my top 5 recommendations for Christian fiction novels. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next video.